Dr. Lynn Wilson. I'm staff veterinarian here at Halifax Humane Society. And the case that we're talking about started out as a drug case. And I guess they went in to bust this person for drugs, and they found all the dogs in the backyard, chained up and that kind of stuff. So that's when it got turned over to animal control. And they went in and confiscated the dogs and took pictures, and then brought them to me to examine. So it was obvious from the exam that they had been fought, many times. And that's when, we decided to go to court on it. And it seems like in the past, a lot of people, these kind of cases aren't important to them. I've seen a lot since I've been here in 6 years, and a lot of them never go to court because the attorneys don't put the time into them. They just don't. It's not that important to them. Whereas when we see that kind of stuff every day, it is. I mean, it is important, and there's a lot of it that's here. People don't realize that, but there's a lot of that kind of stuff that's here. So, he was really great about. He just put every effort into it that he possibly could. I was working in DeLand because I also do relief work. So he drove all the way out there one day to give me, to talk to me about the case and make sure we had things in order and any paperwork I might need. Any kind of, we had pictures that we had blown up. He just put 100% effort. I had never seen anybody put that much effort into a case like that. And, the outcome was that we won the first felony dogfighting case in Volusia County. And, the jury came back within an hour, So it was great. It was, it was a good outcome for us and for all the hard work. And, the judge actually said, I think we asked for 3 years or 2 years, and the judge gave him the maximum. He gave him 5 years, and he said, I'm going to make an example of you. This stuff cannot go on. So, and I just think he did such a wonderful job of stuff that, I had never seen before. So,
tell me a little bit about the trial. You were on the stand, and some of the things that Mr. Craig brought in for evidence. I heard about the chains and maybe the feeling of the courtroom. Were there many people that were watching? I know there were some news stations that were there covering the case.
There were some news people there. A lot of, the animal groups that are involved in this kind of stuff were there. A lot of animal control people were there. And they did, that was more of Greg and S department. He did all the, the chains and the stuff, the paraphernalia that they use for fighting. I did more of the physical exam stuff, showing the wounds on the dogs, because there are certain type of wounds that occur in dogs that are fighting as compared to dogs that just get in a backyard brawl, over a bone or something like that. The wounds are a lot different, and it was obvious from the placement of the scars and from, they were in all stages. There were fresh wounds, there were wounds that were healing, there were wounds that had already healed and were scars. So there was, these dogs had been fought for a while.
And there were 32 dogs?
Mm-hmm.
And they all had to be put down, or how many were saved? And
that I don't remember.
Yeah.
A lot of them, we try to place some if we can,
right.
But the problem is they're not so aggressive to people, because when the handlers are in the ring and the two dogs are fighting with each other, the handler has to be able to reach in and separate the dogs. So they're not aggressive to people, but they are aggressive to other animals because of the type of training they go through. They'll put them on a treadmill and use a small dog or cat for bait. And then a lot of times after they're done, they'll give them that animal. So they are aggressive to other animals. And a lot of times dogs see small children as, small prey. I mean, they're running and screaming, and you know, so that's you know, they're not real safe around little kids either. But as far as handling with adults, we've had very few that we couldn't handle.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.